The US has football, Europe has soccer, but in Canada, it's always ice hockey time. Heck, even the guinea pigs over there can't resist a spin on the ice.
Lovely.
And as if watching pets and players alike scramble across the ice wasn't entertaining enough, it's even more entertaining when things go wrong. In October 2014, Mark Donnelly confidently sang "Oh Canada" during a hockey game at the South Okanagan Event Center in Penticton, British Columbia. But mid-performance, Mr. O Canada missed a key detail. The red carpet spread across the ice.
Welcome back to another reaction
Video.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Welcome back to this reaction video. If you're
Welcome.
clicking for the first time, thank you.
Thank you.
And if you have been here before, welcome back and thank you again. So today's video we're reacting to weird things that you can only find in Canada.
Come on.
Weird things you can only find in Canada. How interesting is that kind
So
of topic?
interesting.
We reacted to weird towns in Canada, so these ones are generally weird things. Okay, let's find out.
From
Wow,
magical
Jay.
wildlife and peculiar natural phenomena to the areas where practicing witchcraft on the waves is encouraged, Canada boasts a huge amount of wonderful oddities, and each one coming up is weirder than the last. Picture this. You're strolling down a Canadian street minding your own business when suddenly, ouch, a stranger accidentally steps on your foot. Naturally, they apologize right away. But hold up. According to Canadian cultural etiquette, you're expected to apologize too. Canadians are
How?
famously
A
polite
stranger?
and nothing captures their
Smashes your feet,
And you
apologizes, and then you are obliged to apologize to them. Wait, your that oh yeah, that's truly weird.
Over here, you collect slap.
You apologize and you apologize again. What?
You're expected to apologize too. Canadians are famously polite and nothing captures that better than their signature sorry. Apologies in Canada are almost constant and expected, even for the smallest and most insignificant infractions.
Sorry.
From voicing a minor complaint to requesting a small favor, even when it's someone's job to assist the apologizer. You're likely familiar with the famous Canadian sorry, but what you might not know is that in the land of maple, the word is used so frequently that the government had to take legal action. You see, in most places around the world, apologies are seen as an admission of guilt or liability, but in Canada, sorry isn't as simple as that. While studies show the average American apologizes just a few times a day, the typical Canadian is thought to say sorry over 9 times every day. Many Canadians describe their chronic sorriness as more of an acknowledgement that something happened, like bumping into someone. It's not about blame, but about showing respect and recognizing the other person exists. Ignoring it or not saying anything would seem rude, so whether you say
Over here,
sorry
people
or
think that is
you
not
okay
a face
in
like-
Canada,
Yeah. Don't want to say sorry. Yeah, people find it. Some people just find it hard to say sorry. Yeah.
counts as the same thing. So in 2006, the province of British Columbia introduced a piece of legislation known as the Apology Act. The act makes the distinction that in context of the law, an apology is simply a display of commiseration and not an admission of fault in an altercation. The act ensures that those frequent apologies aren't misinterpreted as admissions of liability in legal situations, allowing Canadians to uphold their cultural norm of apologizing without fear of their words being used against them in court. Today, almost all Canadian provinces have their own versions of the Act. While vaguely similar laws exist in countries like the US and Australia, it's clear that for Canadians, this legal protection is especially essential. But it's not just the people of Canada that are full of apologies. Their transport services are a sorry state of affairs too. While on first glance it looks as though this bus is apologizing for the part it's played in this traffic collision, the text is actually a part of Winnipeg Transit not in service message for buses.
These are
Even so,
double-decker
compared to other
bus.
countries like the UK,
We don't have this here.
Not at all.
Look at that.
The text is actually a part of Winnipeg Transit
Look at
not in
that.
service
Wow.
message for
Like
buses.
half downstairs and
Even
upstairs on the bus.
So there are people down and people up.
Yep.
My God, I can like to see this type of thing physically.
I don't know if I like to ride in that.
I like to enter inside, like just try new things, right? You understand?
Yeah. I wanna
Yeah.
try jumping out of a plane.
though compared to other countries like the UK, Canada's buses seem to be some of the only ones to remember their manners. From TransLink buses in Vancouver to the Toronto Transit Commission, it seems the quintessentially
makes
Canadian apology
Sorry,
will continue
bus
to
is
roll
full.
on.
So it's actually right when the bus is full, they write in front of the screen that the bus is full. Sorry, bus is full.
Then when there's traffic, the boss it says sorry for traffic, sorry for delay, sorry for taking you to your place late.
On and on. Sorry, not sorry. When they're not busy being polite, Canadians seemingly love building some of the
Wait,
world's
wait.
weirdest
Weirdest
attractions.
attractions.
Like
Look at the house.
Where's the entrance to the
Some of
house?
the-
You climb?
You go and turn and you face down before you enter. Anti-gravity house.
My God.
Holy.
world's weirdest attractions, like in Drumheller, Alberta, home of the
Dinosaur.
world's largest dinosaur. This towering fiberglass and steel Tyrannosaurus Rex stands a whopping 86 feet tall, around 4 times the size of a real T-Rex. You can actually climb inside it and peek out through its mouth, which is probably not something you could do with a real T-Rex. Over in St. Paul, Alberta, meanwhile, you'll find the world's first UFO landing pad. Built in 1967 as a symbol of peace and cosmic unity, this quirky monument was unveiled to welcome all
Wonder.
extraterrestrial visitors with open arms, offering them a place to land, taking Canadian friendliness interstellar. But arguably Canada's strangest attractions are actually all natural. Take the Spotted Lake in British Columbia, which transforms in the summer as the water evaporates, revealing hundreds of colorful pools.
No, that's weird.
Each pool's unique
It looked like pizza, white pizza,
Yeah.
or omelette. It looks like
Well,
cornflakes put in milk.
conflicts.
Cornflakes.
Conflicts.
You know cornflakes? The one that they feed children with.
Oh yeah, I do. Right.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a baby. I mean,
Yeah. I just remembered as you reminded me.
mix and concentration of minerals results in a distinct hue, creating a sight unlike anywhere else on Earth. Then there's the Smoking Hills in Canada's northwestern territories. Here, layers and layers of underground oil shales naturally
What?
ignite and have been burning for centuries, with the sulfur-rich ground resulting in strange red deposits perpetually veiled in smoke. So whether it's natural thrills or man-made curiosities you seek, Canada's got you covered.
Putin.
It's no secret that many fast food chains around the world can often be found tweaking their menus to cater to local
MC
tastes,
Donuts.
and Canada is no exception. At the Golden Arches of Canadian McDonald's, you can order yourself a portion of McPoutine. That is, the quintessentially Canadian delicacy of french fries and cheese curds topped with gravy,
Poutine.
as well as a buffalo chicken variant in Quebec branches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now that makes
where?
me wish I was Canadian. The McCanada menu has seen a whole host of country-exclusive items, including the McMini sandwich,
The
the
McPizza.
McLobster, as well as the McPizza. However, perhaps their strangest offering of all is their vegetarian options. In 2020, McDonald's Canada announced they'd be trialing a new vegetarian burger across its branches called the PLT. That is, plant, lettuce, and tomato. While McDonald's plant-based burgers have been a hit in other parts of the world, like Texas and California, in Canada it didn't take off and was pulled from the menu after just 6 months. Thanks to the failure of the PLT, some Canadian McDonald's restaurants have come up with their own solution for the lack of options for veggie customers. They call this the No-Meat Big Mac. Yep, your eyes aren't deceiving you. That's a Big Mac burger, but instead of meat patties,
No meat
there's
Big Fat Man.
nothing. So the middle bread slice of a Big Mac becomes its patty. Shameful. Shockingly, this infamous bready binge can often be seen on self-ordering kiosks across the country. Well, vegetarians, I hope you like bread sandwiches. Banff National Park in Alberta is famous for its breathtaking landscapes, towering peaks, and the iconic Moraine Lake. But there's a lesser-known wonder that happens in this alpine lake every spring. Check it out.
What? Krista?
Candle ice is a fascinating phenomenon seen in Banff's alpine lakes as they thaw in spring. The formation begins when the lake freezes with a process called supercooling, which allows large ice crystals to form. Then, when the spring sun begins to warm the ice, it starts to break down as water becomes trapped between the ice crystals. As the ice melts at the borders of these crystals, the thick ice sheet breaks into individual column sticks.
Look at how this thing freezes and then forms like sticks of ice.
Yeah. You know, when the video started, if you were asking her what is this, I was just blank because I didn't know
I have
what
no
that
idea what
was.
that was. Oh, and it's in Banff National Park.
Say it has come out.
Look at that.
Name, candle ice. Though
Okay.
visually captivating,
It's so
candle ice
beautiful.
is unstable and unsafe to walk on. However, gently breaking it apart from the safety of a boat or shoreline can be oddly satisfying. And for maximum satisfaction, you can even paddle through this strange icy phenomenon.
No.
Does anyone
we
else
do.
really want a slushy now?
Look
While
at
the
the
candle
blue
ice
water
in
and then
Banff's
with the...
winter wonderland is a natural spectacle.
My mind is just far to Canada.
God, these Canadians.
There's another icy marvel in Canada that perfectly blends Mother Nature's magic with human engineering. When Prince Edward Island joined the Canadian Confederation in 1873, Canada's government promised to connect it to the mainland. Initially, this was done through ice boats and later ferries that carried mail and passengers across the Northumberland Strait until 1997 when the Confederation Bridge opened. Stretched across 8 miles, it's not just Canada's long.
A bridge that is 13 kilometers long.
And people, this type of bridge, who uses this? People.
Cars cross on it.
Oh.
Not that from here to Sam is around 2 kilometers.
So this is like, like from here to sometimes.
Times 6.5 times.
Wow.
A single bridge. How much does it cost to build?
Oh my God, Canada.
Longest bridge, but also the world's longest bridge over ice-covered water. But its most fascinating feature? The ability to withstand the strait's harsh winter freeze. The bridge's 62 pillars are ingeniously designed with conical bases to handle incoming ice flows. As the ice drifts towards the bridge, the conical shape forces the flows upwards, the pressure of which causes them to crack into an array of rectangular chunks. This process, known as ice deflection, prevents large ice masses from piling up and threatening the structure. Instead, the bridge's piers slice through the ice, allowing it to be safely swept away by the tides and currents. It's a brilliant solution that keeps the bridge and the connection to Prince Edward Island safe,
Actually,
no
I had
matter
a
how
dream
frigid
that,
conditions get.
We're
I
in
guess
a Canadian city, and there was a road that was just like this one, I tell you.
Your dream.
Yeah. And it looked...
Your dream was of nice things, also going to nice places.
Hold on. Yeah. I'll show you the road.
pressure of which causes them to crack into an array of rectangular chunks. This process, known as ice deflection, prevents large ice masses from piling up and threatening the structure. Instead, the bridge's piers slice through the ice, allowing it to be safely swept away by the tides and currents.
I remember we were supposed to go to one city by the left, and then we were going down straight to one major city too. And we just had to go there and check something before we go to this other city. That was like how the dream went.
Dream come true. I know that your
fact,
dreams always come true.
I was
So let's start packing our things.
absolutely freaking
It's
lovely.
Pollution that keeps the bridge and the connection to Prince Edward Island safe, no matter how frigid conditions get. I guess you could say that even Canada's bridges know how to stay
That was a
cool
bar.
under pressure. That ability, of course, extends to Canada's citizens, whose ability to deftly deal with ice is as classically Canadian as Tim Hortons, both of which, incidentally, are encapsulated
What?
in the amazing clip
What's
you're
happening
about
with
to
the dress?
see.
Have you seen his trouser?
Mm-hmm.
He's just standing there, all rigid. What happened to it? Frozen or something? Look at it.
Which, incidentally, are encapsulated in the amazing clip you're about to see.
Hi.
What's this?
So that they're on top of a
Slow down.
top of a bike or car.
Slow down. I think
Why?
that's key.
Okay, simple.
Morning, Aiden.
Living.
Coffee for you.
Oh, thanks. What a neighbor you are.
Oh, we got the
Fire
fireplace.
going. You want to come in?
Yeah, I'll come in. Oh, I love what you've done with the place.
One of the country's most recognizable creatures, the mighty moose, may be a regular sighting for many Canadians. However, there are some moosey moments floating around online that are far from regular. Check this out.
Mind you.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Bet you haven't seen that before. This head-shaking footage was captured by Canadian
What?
wildlife enthusiast Derek Burgoyne, who witnessed the rare moment a moose shed both its antlers at exactly the same time. As a species of deer, male moose, also known as bulls, shed and regrow their antlers throughout the years as part of their annual life cycle. For moose, antlers play a key role in attracting females who tend to favor bulls with bigger antlers. I guess you know what they say about big antlers, am I right? Anyway, as far as scientists know, antler casting is painless, mainly due to the lack of nerves and blood
Whoa.
vessels in the fully developed antlers themselves. Many moose will often try to accelerate the process by rubbing their antlers up against tree trunks, or in this case, opting for a bit of headbanging.
When this type of thing
Rock
happen like
on,
this, is it
Lucy
possible to take
dude.
and put it back there, or you, that's already all about?
It shows that you will regrow another one.
Mm.
And literally shook off his head to shed off those ones.
The more part of his body.
Wonderful.
Tell you. Okay.
Meanwhile, in Alberta, moose aren't just casting antlers, they're car washing?
Move.
So,
This mysterious clip was captured when Mommy and Baby Moose got to work licking this car on its way
Jasper
through
National
Jasper
Park.
National Park while Daddy Moose stood guard. While we all know that Canada is home to some of the friendliest people on planet Earth, it's hard to believe that these moose would really clean a stranger's car for seemingly no reason. Well, unsurprisingly, there's actually an explanation to this carnal craving. Moose apparently are totally obsessed with salt as they need it for essential bodily functions. Problem is, their natural diet of leaves, twigs, and bark is low in sodium, leading them to seek out other salt sources like mineral licks as a nutritious supplement. However, in winter, when roads are salted to prevent freezing, moose have discovered that they can easily access salt from the wheels, doors, and bumpers of cars. This has led to potentially dangerous situations as more moose began approaching vehicles, even in traffic, to lick the salty residue. The issue became so widespread that Canadian officials had to install signs in areas where moose are commonly found, instructing drivers not to let moose lick their cars and to drive away if a moose approaches you. Forget horsing around, all I can see here is some extreme moosing around.
wow.
I'll see myself out. The humble maple leaf in its tree has been an iconic
Yeah?
symbol of Canada since the 19th century, valued for its sweet sap. Among the most cherished uses of this sap is the creation of maple taffy, a traditional and uniquely Canadian treat often referred to as sugar on snow. The origins of maple
Maple
taffy
taffy.
trace back to
It's not maple
indigenous
syrup.
peoples of North
It's different from maple syrup. Eh?
Yeah. I guess.
I see.
Maple taffy.
Maple taffy. Maple taffy.
America, who were the first to harvest sap from maple trees and transform it into syrup. French settlers later adopted this technique, turning it into a cultural tradition that endures to this day. In the past, maple taffy was a centerpiece of sugaring off parties, festive gatherings held in early spring when the sap began to flow. Making maple taffy was a highlight of these events, with the snow serving as a natural cooling agent to turn the syrup into taffy. First, the maple syrup is heated to reduce and thicken it, then it's poured over fresh snow where it quickly cools and thickens. Once hardened, it's then rolled onto a popsicle stick for a deliciously chewy experience, sweet by name and nature. If all that talk of maple syrup has your taste buds tingling, we're just getting started. In Canada, fans of soda, or pop as Canadian lingo dictates, can get their hands on bottles of Coca-Cola Quebec Maple that's been infused with syrup straight from La Belle Province. But it's not only maple-flavored Coke that's on offer. While it originated in Japan, you can even find clear Coke in Canada's largest Asian grocery store chain, T&T. But you know what would make a truly Canadian Coke? Clear maple Coke. So if anyone from Coca-Cola's flavor department is watching, yes, please and thank you. If you're craving a more savory twist on maple sweetness, Canada has the perfect remedy for that too. While your favorite flavor potato chip is probably something like salt and vinegar or barbecue or sour cream and onion, some folks in Canada favor something a little more patriotically coded. In 2013, Lay's Canada released a new flavor called Maple Mousse after it came out as the winner of the Chips brand's Do Us a Flavor contest. The flavor was created by Newfoundland native Tyler LaFrance, who won a $50,000...
Newfoundland. We've learned, huh? We've learned.
I say it's not Newfoundland.
It's not Newfoundland, so it's Newfoundland. Ha! I tell you. I've learned quite a bit now. We're currently people. Starting from the bottom, now we're here.
At the top.
At the top. Lonely at the top.
Lonely, lonely, lonely.
Canada on my mind.
Canada.
Brands Do Us a Flavor contest. The flavor was created by Newfoundland native Tyler LaFrance, who won a $50,000 Canadian grand prize after Canadians voted for his idea. The flavor was inspired by the bizarre but undeniably Canadian combo of maple and moose meat, and the chips are described as possessing a smoky taste with a hint of sweetness. Maple Mousse chips were sadly discontinued in early 2014 due to a lack of sales. However, there are plenty of other uniquely Canadian chip flavors still available nationwide. One of the most popular chip choices across Canada is ketchup flavor, which are also sold in the US but are nowhere near as sought after. And for those having a hard time deciding which flavor they favor, there's also Ruffles All-Dressed Chips, which is a combination of ketchup, barbecue, sour cream and onion, and salt and vinegar all rolled into one crunchy bite. But which of these Canadian treats have you salivating? Have you tried any yourself? Let me know in the comments below. While maple syrup is a cornerstone of Canadian culture, it's also at the heart of one of the country's most notorious crimes.
One of the country's notorious crimes. Before I do other countries like eat this maple syrup? Do they export it to some other countries? And do other countries produce the maple syrup, or is it exclusively produced in Canada?
Yeah, that's a very smart question I've heard today.
So all the other questions I've been asking, they have not been very smart.
You know the answer already.
In July 2012, accountant Michael Gavreau arrived at a warehouse owned by the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers in the small town of St. Louis de Blanford to take stock of the facility's barrels of syrup. Expecting each barrel to weigh over 600 pounds apiece, Michael was shocked to discover that many weren't filled with syrup at all, but instead plain old water. It turned out that over a period of 10 months, the contents of over 9,500 barrels of maple syrup, worth 18 million Canadian dollars, had been stolen in a crime that became known as the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. The subsequent investigation involved nearly 300 interviews and even forensic
I
analysis
think
of
I heard
syrup.
this story from Ray William Johnson, if I'm not making a mistake. I think I heard about
A
this story.
fan.
Hmm?
Our fan in the channel.
No, Ray William Johnson is an American creator who tells stories.
Okay.
And they mentioned a story of some workers stealing maple syrup from containers and filling it with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Became known as the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist. The subsequent investigation involved nearly 300 interviews and even forensic analysis of syrup kettles and forklifts recovered from the scene. It was later revealed that the thieves had rented warehouse space and, over the course of a year, discreetly siphoned syrup while security was absent. Though police were able to recover around 2/3 of the stolen syrup, it seemed the rest had already disappeared into the sticky
That's
underworld,
weird.
being repackaged and sold on. Police ultimately arrested 26 people in relation to the heist. Their ringleader, Richard Valers, was found guilty of theft, fraud, and trafficking stolen goods by Quebec Superior Court and sentenced to 8 years in prison. He also received a thick, syrupy fine of 9.4 million Canadian dollars. In the end, this sticky-fingered escapade left a very bitter taste in the mouths of its perpetrator. Past soccer, but in Canada, it's always ice hockey time. Heck, even the guinea pigs over there can't resist a spin on the ice.
Lovely.
And as if watching pets and players alike scramble across the ice wasn't entertaining enough, it's even more entertaining when things go wrong. In October 2014, Mark Donnelly confidently sang "O Canada" during a hockey game at the South Okanagan Event Center in Penticton, British Columbia. But mid-performance, Mr. O Canada missed a key detail. The red carpet spread across the ice. Just a few lines in, Donnelly face-planted spectacularly and then scrambled to his feet, narrowly avoiding a second tumble as the crowd watched in stunned amusement. And just like that, Mark Donnelly proved that even the pros can hit a flat note. Literally. Big respect for pulling himself back up, though. Canada is known for its breathtaking landscapes and friendly people, but it also boasts a treasure trove of quirky slang that can leave outsiders scratching their heads. One popular term is 2-4, which refers to a case of 24 beers, an essential for any Canadian gathering or celebration. When someone mentions picking up a 2-4, you can bet a party is on the horizon. You also may find yourself being told to hang a Larry or hang a Roger, which respectively refer to making a left or right turn while driving. Then there's the humble bottle shop, which is a general term for a liquor store. Another charming term is Chesterfield, a vintage word for a couch. Finally, don't forget about loony, a term for the Canadian $1 coin, named after the common loon bird depicted on one side. So next time you're in Canada and someone asks you to hang a Larry around to the bottle shop to pick up a 2-4 for a few loonies for a hangout on the Chesterfield, you'll know that's a plan worth raising a glass to. So you walk into a grocery store in Ontario expecting to find your usual carton or jug of milk, but instead you're greeted by bizarre plastic sacks filled with loose liquid dairy. Welcome to the world of bagged milk, a phenomenon some say are as Canadian as maple syrup and hockey. Bagged milk is one of those quirks of Canadian life that leaves outsiders scratching their heads. So why the bags? Well, it all started back in the late 1960s when Canada was transitioning from the imperial to the metric measuring system, but this posed a problem for manufacturers. Resizing cartons or jugs required significant changes to production lines, making it a complex and costly process. The story goes that DuPont, a Canadian food and packaging company, were the first to unveil these thin plastic bags that could be used to store and sell milk in 1967. Sometimes known as plastic udders, these milk bags were favored over cartons or bottles because manufacturers could simply adjust the length of the plastic sealing points without needing to design new molds or pattern templates. Gradually, Canada's dairy industry began widely adopting these innovative plastic pouches, and the trend has stuck to this day. Though mainly in areas of Canada like Ontario, Quebec.
The milk looks already cooked or how?
It's processed.
So when you take it, what do you do with it? You go and boil it.
When I take the milk, you use it, right? If you're putting it in something that needs milk to put there, maybe it's your coffee, it's tea, or something.
Okay, do you like boil it before you put inside coffee?
No. When you buy milk from the market, do you boil it to use it? Don't boil it, right?
But I buy powder.
But do you boil it?
I boil water and I mix it.
Cool. That's the same thing. If you're using coffee, you need to boil water and put the coffee there before you put the milk.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you're using it for some other thing. There are so many things that they eat with milk. Some people just drink it and you just don't have to boil it or do anything with it. You just drink it. In fact, when you get it from the market, it's ready to be consumed. It's not, it doesn't have any problem if you consume it like that, hot or cold.
And the maritime provinces. But bagged milk isn't just about efficiency, it's also about freshness and food waste reduction. Most bags come in sets of 3, and when you're ready to use one, you pop it into a pitcher, snip the corner, and pour. Because the bags are smaller, you only open what you need, keeping the rest sealed fresh. Milk bags can be found in other countries such as South Africa, Argentina, Uruguay, Hungary, and China, and Ukraine, but Canada's were the first. So while the rest of the world might chuckle at these plastic udders, it's actually a clever packaging solution that just makes sense. Well, at least if you're Canadian. Canadians
you're
are widely
Canadian
known
or
for their
Cameroonian.
politeness and law-abiding nature. However, it seems the authorities may have taken advantage of this by maintaining some rather unusual laws. One of the most bizarre laws in Canada's criminal code made it illegal to pretend to practice witchcraft. The law was introduced in the 1950s, and in October
It is illegal to pretend to practice witchcraft. Which means it is legal to actually practice witchcraft.
Yes. Don't pretend.
Don't pretend. Don't do as if you're not doing. It's either you are doing or you're not.
Yes.
Either you're a witch or you're not a witch. You can't be in between.
2018, a Toronto psychic named Samantha Stevenson was arrested for convincing a man that selling his house and giving her the proceeds was the only way to rid his home of evil spirits.
Oh,
This was
God.
deemed to be an act of insincere fraud and exploitation of a vulnerable individual, but interestingly, practicing legitimate witchcraft as part of the Wiccan religion or as an occult practice is entirely legal and even celebrated in certain areas. For instance, the Wood Lake Water Witches, a coven in British Columbia, gather each October to celebrate the spooky season by paddling.
Is that real? Like, is that true? People go gather at the lake to practice witchcraft. Like, seems like something you find here in Africa, but people don't admit it.
Yes.
You never
They
find a camera
ways
there.
to zoom out of it. You never find a
Columbia
camera
gather
there.
each October to celebrate the spooky season by paddleboarding across the lake in an annual event. Despite a few cases against fraudulent witches, Canada's law prohibiting fake witchcraft became known as a zombie law. That is a law that, while still on the books, is considered outdated or redundant due to newer legal standards. In December 2018, the Canadian government repealed several of these zombie laws. Alongside the witchcraft law, other outdated provisions such as the prohibition of dueling and a ban on publishing comics depicting crime were also scrapped. So while witchcraft may be legal in Canada, bad laws certainly aren't immune to a good old-fashioned vanishing act. Abracadabra!
Yeah.
While many
That's
zombie
like
laws in
Canada.
Canada are dead and buried, some bizarre bylaws still exist. For example, in Alberta, it's illegal to paint wooden ladders as paint could hide fractures, turning a climb into a dangerous mishap. But Alberta isn't the only place with puzzling paint-related laws. In Canada, a suburb of Ottawa, there's a rumor that residents are forbidden from painting their garage doors purple. Though this gained traction online, it seems to
Why?
be a misunderstanding. The myth may stem from a 1973 bylaw in the areas that asked homeowners to maintain a vaguely consistent appearance, including colors. There's no record of enforcement of this bylaw though, so in reality, Canada residents can paint their garage doors any color they want, just so long as it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb versus their neighbors' places. Canada is home to over 1 million moose, and while we've already seen that some can exhibit rather quirky behavior, a few are believed to be downright magical. Check this out.
That's a white moose.
Wow.
No, that's a beano.
This
Soto.
ethereal creature was
Soto.
spotted crossing a remote road in central Alberta. Sightings such as this are known as being a sign of good luck in Canada, particularly among indigenous Cree culture. In Cree culture, animals are often viewed as messengers from the spiritual realm, and white moose like this one are known as spirit moose. But beyond their
They are like animals from the underworld that bring spiritual messages, right? Why do they have to be running away from you instead of coming to deliver the message?
Because
They're
are
afraid
meant,
of you.
yeah,
They're afraid
they
of you,
see
and they want to
something
deliver
like-
you a message.
yeah. Because just by you seeing them, you should already know that there's a message they have come to deliver.
And what's the message? Why can't
There
you just
will
leave me?
always be one unique message that when you see a particular animal, it tells you that this is it for you. The same, if you see the animal, the same thing will apply for me if I see it.
Nah. You should better send me a voice message.
A
I'm
voice
sending
note.
an animal to just come. What if I was not driving there that day?
Maybe that was not for you now.
No, it was better be for me.
moose like this one are known as spirit moose. But beyond their spiritual significance, what does science say about these rare, ghostly-looking moose? Many attribute the striking appearance to albinism, a condition where the body can't produce melanin, the pigment responsible for coloring skin, fur, and eyes. However, it's not that simple. Albinism typically results in a complete lack of pigmentation, including
This one is
pink
beautiful,
eyes.
bro.
Yet close-up photos captured by the folks responsible for the clip we just saw show this moose's eyes with seemingly normal pigment. This has led some experts to suggest that the moose might actually have leucism, a genetic condition that causes partial loss of pigmentation, usually leaving the eyes unaffected. Whether luck, legend, or leucism, Canada's natural world certainly isn't afraid to stand out from the crowd.
Yep.
Vancouver is a city where nature and urban life collide in the most spectacular ways. But there's one spot in the skyline that takes that balance to a whole new level. Yep, I'm talking about the building with an entire tree on top. This is
What?
Eugenia Place, a 19-floor apartment complex boasting spades of natural beauty. Literally. But here's the cool part. The tree isn't just a gimmick. It's actually meant to represent the natural world that existed here long before the concrete jungle.
Wow.
Back in the day, towering trees like Douglas firs and great cedars stood in place of the cityscape, and the height of the building, tree included, mirrors the height of those ancient forests. But planting a 37-foot tree on top of a high-rise, that's no small feat, especially in a city with such changeable weather. So after lifting the tree to the roof via crane, the architects installed a specially designed planter up there, complete with hooks and cables to keep the tree in place.
Wow.
It's like a giant flower pot with proper irrigation systems and soil to keep the tree happy and healthy, no matter what kind of weather is thrown at it. Today, the tree on Eugenia Place is more than just a quirky architectural feature, it's an iconic part of this city's identity. I mean, it's not every day you see a tree hanging out on top of a building, right?
Yeah.
Which of these Canadian curiosities had you scratching your head? Are there any countries you've been to with even stranger customs? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you
Thank you for making the
watching.
video. Holy smack.
My God.
Canada is too much. I tell you. You guys are way too much. You guys are way too much.
That's so good, Canada.
You guys are way too much. You know what? Thank you. We are going to be watching more weird things about Canada. Maybe weird
why not?
laws and things like that.